Welcome to SativAcademy. I'm your host, Jack Kelly. Recently, an interesting question was asked in the SativAcademy forums regarding lights. While I won't go into too much detail about specific products, I will discuss how to properly adjust your lights for your grow room, the different types of lights available, and what safety precautions to employ when using these lights indoors. Before we begin, a word of caution. Please be very careful when using indoor growing lights. The number one cause for indoor fires in grow rooms is poor installation or improper use of lights and ballast. These lights are by no means your average household's 70-watt bulbs. While a 250-watt bulb will be similar to a street lamp, a 1,000-watt high-pressure sodium bulb will truly blind you. It's also important to note that the bulbs that I will be discussing today are not your normal fluorescent bulbs. These are high-intensity discharge lights, and please remember that we are trying to replicate the sun indoors, so they will be very powerful, will become very hot, and can burn you very badly. Please be careful when using these lighting systems. I strongly suggest you wear protective gear like hot mitts and goggles when moving around them. Now, there are many aspects to consider when choosing your grow light. First off, if you have ever seen one of these lights, you may have noticed that it's not just a bulb, but it's comprised of many different parts. These parts are the power cord, an electrical ballast, a build, and a hood reflector. The most important part of a grow room light set is the electrical ballast. An electrical ballast is a device intended to limit the amount of current. In other words, an electrical ballast controls the current so your bulb stays consistent without the wattage dangerously fluctuating. These ballasts come in two different types, digital and magnetic. Now, I highly suggest you invest in a digital ballast, even if the magnetic one is cheaper. A digital ballast is superior to a magnetic ballast for many reasons. Most importantly, a digital ballast is not as heavy and doesn't run as hot as the magnetic counterpart. Magnetic ballasts may be cheaper, but you really don't want your house burning down because you wanted to save 75 bucks. Now onto the different types of lights. Depending on the stage of growth, there are two types of lights you will want to use in your grow room. The first being a metal halide, or MH for short, which is usually used during the vegetative state of growth because these lights give off more of the spectrum a plant is looking for. Then there is the high pressure sodium, or HPS. This is the popular choice for the flowering stage of growth. While it is possible to use either of these lights alone, a professional cultivator will typically use both. If you have the funds on hand to afford both, you may also want to purchase a special ballast. That will allow you to switch from MH to HPS mode quite easily. This is called a switchable ballast. Unless the ballast is made for both MH and HPS, you can't use it on the other. The same goes for the wattage. The ballast needs to match the bulb wattage for safe operation. That's very, very important. Okay, now that you have been convinced to buy a digital ballast, it's time to talk about wattage. The most popular wattage for a grow light is 1,000 watts, with 750 as a close second. While the actual electricity draw will be slightly higher than the listed wattage, a 1,000 watt bulb and ballast will cover the largest area, which is 4 feet by 4 feet, and it will provide the highest level of lumens, which provides your plants the energy it needs to grow. If a 1,000 light is too large for your grow room or is too expensive, there are other lights with wattages such as 250, 450, and 600. But remember, light is the food that plants absorb. So you will want to keep them well fed, and light is so essential to growing indoors that you do not want to cut costs with them. Or otherwise, why even do it? Reflectors and hoods are also important parts to grow lights. A reflector will do just that. It will reflect the light. This will help save energy you are losing if your bulb is positioned horizontally instead of vertically. If you are having trouble with heat, this is where the help of a hood comes in. While some hoods are just plexiglass, helping to shield some of the heat, the higher end ones are air or even water cooled. These are really nice because they might save you from having to install an air conditioner, ultimately saving you big on money. The reflector hood also allows the cultivator to maximize the number of plants that are being grown because it spreads the light out evenly. I hope that today's lesson addresses most of your questions and concerns about grow lights. If you have any further questions, stories, answers, or just want to discuss the latest legislation efforts, please look at Insiders Health SativAcademy forums and check out our blog while you're at it too. Until next time, this is Jack Kelly, passing it on.